Welcome back to AFC Fylde, Still We Rise. Today's episode is a transfer special. This is when we look at all the players that have come in during the off-season break and indeed those that have left Mill Farm. As you can see, the fixture list for the new championship season has been announced. We will begin with an away trip to Preston North End, a fellow Lancashire side. We then have Nottingham Forest back at Mill Farm and Bristol City away. In amongst them is a fixture against another Northwest team. That would be Morecambe in the Carabao Cup first round. Today we are going to look at transfers, so let's open the menu. As you can see, we are still in for a lot of staff. These are all staff members that are coming in. We sort of refreshed our backroom team following promotion from Sky Bet League One. We are in the process of bringing in a lot of new people, especially for the under-18s, the under-23s as well. These are the players who have left us. You may be interested to see the name of Junior Hoylett at the top of that list. He came in on trial and then promptly retired. As longer suffering viewers may remember, this happened a lot last season, especially with Akinfenwa. Albert Odoma delivered on his promise to retire. He is now a non-player, as is Aaron Lennon and Andy Taylor. Andy Taylor has been kept on as our director of football. He performed a dual role for much of last season, similar actually to how he is in real life. He's a player for AFC Fylde and also on the staff as an analyst. Harvey Neville, a young lad, was released, as was Josh Neufville, Morgan Burr and Russell Knowles, all of which have made first team appearances but haven't really cut it at Football League level. More experienced in terms of the coasters, we've got James Montgomery, our former goalkeeper. He had a bit of a shaky end of last season, and as a result, he has bit the bullet and headed out of Mill Farm. Neil Byrne, our former captain, spent last season on loan at Southport. Good player for the National League, didn't really make the step up into League 2 and certainly not into League 1. Romario Vieira was one of our early signings, delivered some promise when he first arrived, but since sort of fell off a cliff. Devan Green was one I really did want to sign at the start of the game, sort of in the game time, that's 3 years ago. And we got him from Scunthorpe. He'd moved there from Southport and did well for us, didn't really let us down, but we are making the step up now, and as a result elected not to offer him a contract. In terms of the players that we have brought in, last time you may remember when we did our end of season special that we had brought in Scott Robertson from Celtic, Adam Lewis from Liverpool, he's got a lot of promise, Barry Douglas from QPR, former Fylde favourite Johnny Smith in from St Johnstone, and Tom Berry on a free transfer from Stockport County. The signings that we've made since are Mitch Walker from Aldershot. He's going to be our new number one goalkeeper. I've been after Mitch for pretty much all of the Still We Rise save. He was one of the first goalkeepers that we scouted, and he's been locked down in the contract ever since. But he's certainly somebody that I wanted to bring in, as we have employed a sweeper keeper, and that is his best role. So he's one I've been after for a long time, delighted to finally get it over the line. Walker signed for 60k. In total, we've only spent 900k. Our transfer budget was over 3 million, but I haven't really seen the players that I want to bring in. Saul Shotton arrived on loan from West Brom. We've had some really good success bringing in players on loan from West Brom, especially with Javan Malcolm in recent seasons. We have a good relationship with the Midlands side. West Brom, I should say, if we have a quick look at them, they are in our league. I believe they got relegated. So managed by Chris Houghton, They are going to be a bit of a rival for us. Media prediction of second. I can tell you now that we are predicted to finish bottom. We're always predicted to finish bottom. Ever since we got promoted from the National League, we haven't really had much of a look in. But you can play as central defence and left back. So left-footed, there aren't a lot of centre halves who are left-footed these days. So he was somebody I tracked last season with a view to bringing him in. As you can see, a 4-star potential ability. 21 years old. I think he's got a lot about him. Kenneth de Groot has come in. He's on loan from Manchester United. Belgian, valued at 11.75 million. I mean, if that's not an endorsement, I don't know what is. Again, big current ability, big potential ability. Star player and could improve in terms of the coach's summary. Capped at under 20 level for Belgium. He is a left winger, and that is exactly what we needed. Hasn't got a look in either at Ghent or at Manchester United, who he signed for 5 million a year ago. Now valued, as I said, nearer 12 million. So somebody that is going the right way and exactly what we needed. It was the wings that we really needed to bolster, which we did with our next signing. Jovan Malcolm has been with us now for, I think, 3 years. Has he been? Yes, he was. He was here with us in the Vanarama National League, then in League 2 and then in League 1. Each time making lots of appearances and playing really well for us. He's only made a couple of appearances in pre-season, but as you can see, last year, 7 goals to his name. 10 the year before that. I've always liked Jovan. I think he's offered us a lot on the right wing, and he can also cover on the left and up front as well. 20 years old, young lad, really fits the profile of what Fylde want. Certainly David Haythornthwaite, the chairman, is after these young, hungry players, and he fits the bill to a T. Another loan player, Brian Fiabina. Yeah, that name's going to have to change. Valued at 7.75 million, he is on loan from Chelsea, a 19-year-old Norwegian with 18 under-21 caps to his name. Again, this is part of bolstering the wings. So he is a right winger. We had a bit of a problem with Johnny Smith, our new signing. He is now injured, and as a result, it sort of forced me into the loan market just to bring somebody in that could cover. Got good acceleration, good pace. That's the sort of thing that we want. Bit of flair about him, so he's a bit of a maverick there on the right. In many ways, he is a mirror image of myself. David Ball. Now, I struggled with a new striker. Figured out that right early on in the off-season, the end of season episode that we did, that our strikers, Adam Rooney and Jamie Proctor, just aren't going to cut it at championship level. I'm not saying that David Ball would do. The former Wellington Phoenix man, he's picked up quite a few clubs, I think, in his career. Bradford, Rotherham, Fleetwood, Rochdale. So, in fact, I don't think he's played in the championship before, except briefly for Rotherham. He was on Manchester City's books right at the start of his career. 1 appearance in the championship. It's a gamble, this. This is partly because I am, of course, a big fan of the A-League and know it very well. And I think David Ball is a really good striker. I believe he'll be with Wellington Phoenix for the season to come. He was a gamble because we missed out on a player. I'm going to try and find the player that we missed out on, who was at Wolverhampton Wanderers. They transferred a player out, and it was one that I really wanted. This chap here, who went to Nottingham Forest, so annoying. Renet Dadasov. I actually could see his stats before, so I don't know why I can't now. Possibly our scouts have changed, and thus I can't see them anymore. I thought he was a really good player. He was somebody that we could have brought in. 34 caps to his name, 23 years old. A reasonable price as well. He's exactly the type of player that I thought we could bring in and stick up front and just leave there for the season. But sadly, he chose to sign for Nottingham Forest. I'll be interested to see how he does this season. I was really hoping to sign him, and in truth, that meant that David Ball was something of a second choice. Whether that factors into anything, I'm not sure, but he was our choice as a striker. That one I'm going to be fingers crossed for. However, more recently, just a few days ago, I signed Giovanni Dos Santos on a free transfer. Big technique, big first touch. Mexican international, 107 caps. He is 33 years old and is about to retire in a year's time, so we'll only get one season out of him. Can cover pretty much anywhere across the front, whether it's in the middle or out wide. The reason I wanted him is quite simple. Not only has he played for the LA Galaxy, Tottenham, but he started his career at Barcelona. We can now say that we have a former Barcelona player in our ranks, and that means something, I think. Dos Santos, he will be probably a bit of a squad player, fit in wherever. Same with Javan Malcolm. I mean, it just depends whether De Groot and Fiabima really sort of fit in on the wings. A couple of players have gone out on loan. Kieran McGukin and Steve Richardson have gone out to our affiliate club, Altrincham. You may have noticed we still have not sold a player for any money. It's bothering me. It's really bothering me. But it is what it is. There's not much we can do. And in fact, today we have a pre-season friendly. We've not done too badly with our fixtures so far. We lost last time out to Liverpool under 23s. That's no big shock really. But in our other friendlies, we drew 4-4 with Rochdale. Really exciting game. Wish we'd filmed that one. We had St Polton, we won 1-0. Euston Day, we beat 5-2 back at Mill Farm. And then, of course, that loss to Liverpool under 23s. Just out of interest, I wondered if I could see the Liverpool lineup. But Ryan Brewster with a goal there, I think that sort of says it all. For this game, yeah, we're going to try David Ball up front. We are struggling with injuries. In fact, let's go to our medical centre so that you can see the extent of our current injuries. Here we go. Barry Douglas, new signing. He's out with a hip injury. We had to send him to a specialist to try and get him back pretty quickly. Javan Malcolm, new signing, injured in the 1-0 win over St Polton. Fiabima, he's out for between 6 days and 3 weeks with a back strain. Suffered in training. Johnny Smith, another right winger, sports hernia, out for 2 to 3 weeks. He's being treated by the club doctor. So already, as you can see, and this is what sort of prompted the signing of the likes of Dos Santos, was that our wingers, especially on the right, seem to be falling like flies. Falling like flies? Dropping like flies. Ashkan Dajaga is still part of the first team squad. I suspect not for much longer. Once these boys all return from their various ailments, I suspect that Ashkan, who really didn't play that well for us last season, I kept getting messages saying that the board were unhappy with his performances. Personally, I think he did okay. He was obviously never going to be the sort of speed winger who gets in back of a length, right to the byline, gets the cross in. He was always going to be the type to cut inside or just hold up the ball and play it over the top for the striker to run into. Altrincham are, as mentioned, our affiliate club. They're playing a very similar formation to ourselves. There you go. Interesting. They have McGukin on the bench. Richardson is over there on the left wing. Our two lone players. Spenny the Penny is still my assistant. He has been attracting some interest from other teams. I haven't, I can tell you. Despite winning 3 promotions in the last 3 seasons, not a sausage. Nobody has come in for me. Nobody is remotely interested in engaging my services. I've won Manager of the Year 3 years in a row. I've taken AFC Fylde to the Championship and still not a sniff. You'd think that some Premier League club struggling would be giving, battering the door down to speak to me. Not a hope. As here we go, Altrincham with the advantage. I never get too worried about friendly results. There's all this, especially if you're a big club, there seems to be some sort of divine right to win every single game. However, that is some hit by Paul Gallagher, assisted by De Groot. Bit of a simple pass in field from him, but they all count. Yeah, Gallagher there, given the space, and he is not needing of an invitation. Too much time, too much space. Could have made a phone call. A goal by Paul Gallagher, really experienced. Came in last season. Him, Walker and Nick Horton, really good in central midfield. They're the three players that we sort of rotate around in that position. And neither one of them have really let us down. I can tell you that in goal for Altrincham is Max Johnston. And I've got a feeling that he is the new Fylde, well, he's part of the Fylde squad as De Groot fires wide after a good run. He is the brother of Sam Johnston, I believe, and will probably serve as the first reserve for our goalkeeper at Fylde, which is Chris Neal this season. Sorry. We're going to bring on, I want to bring on Dos Santos actually, so that we can have a quick look at him. Put him on the right, let's see how he does. Up front, Ball, I'm going to stick with Ball, but I am going to bring on Whitmore in defence for Elphick. Horton on for the goal scorer, Gallagher. And Lewis, I want to see a bit more of, actually. I think that's the only changes we're going to make. Seems a bit odd for a pre-season friendly not to make so many changes. In fact, just going to encourage the boys here. They love that. What did I just press? Calm down. Brilliant. That's what I meant to press. Meant to press calm down? Absolutely. No slip of the finger there. As Altrincham make a few substitutions. Just 7 minutes into the second half. Could have done those at half time. McGukin is on. One of our lone players. Joining Richardson on the field. And it's a goal by Steve Richardson. I mean, Tyrone Williams can extend his arms all he likes. Look at this, back post here. Yeah, you're beaten in the air, mate. Didn't get up. It's a real game now. Come on, man. We do, of course, our number one right back is obviously Luke Burke. And has been for the last 3 years. In fact, let's bring on old Luke. And I think we've seen enough of a lack of David Ball at the minute. We're going to bring on Adam Rooney, along with Marsh for Lewis. And yes, indeed, Burke back in his natural position there at right back. I mean, guaranteed to get a booking any second now. That's pretty much what he does. Over the last few seasons, he must have amassed 50 bookings. I mean, he's on about 16 a season, so I'll leave you to do the maths. But in 3 years, he's not shy of a yellow ticket, is that boy. Shotton just, he's a bit low on condition. I'm just going to change him out. Give a run out to Jan Songo. Jan Songo, not really part of the first team last season, as Shotton does well in defence just before going off. Of course, Giovanni Dos Santos has picked up a knock. Why wouldn't he? I mean, of course he did. Duxbury into the box, and it's a penalty. Wonder who's going to take that. No idea. I honestly don't have a clue. It's Adam Rooney, and fires home. Really good strike there. Surely the winner. Just as we tick over 88 minutes now on the clock. Goalkeeper. Not a great dive, to be honest. But that is going to be probably a win from a pre-season game. We've just got one more pre-season game to come. That is against Lancaster City, another Northwest team, before we play Preston North End in our first championship fixture. That will be on YouTube, I can assure you. Although it's going to be a long season in the championship, isn't it? I mean, anybody that knows the Football League knows that Championship, League One, League Two, they are a slog. It's the same in the National League. That amount, 24 teams, depending on what happens with Macclesfield this season. But here we go. As is always the case, our new signings get injured straight away. Don't know what we're doing, but he suffered a bruised knee when attempting a sprint. Okay, not going to say anything. But we have 5 players, and that is the highest in the league. Yeah, there we go. And they're all out for, well, pretty much all out for a decent amount of time as well. You can see some of the big teams that we're going to have to play this season. Birmingham, Stoke. Yeah. In terms of the expectations for the coming year, I'm expected to fight bravely against relegation in the Sky Bet Championship. It will be a brave fight. Be competitive in the FA Cup, which I think means don't worry about it. And reach the second round minimum in the Carabao Cup. So we play Morecambe, who are a League 1 side? League 2 side, sorry. Under Jim Bentley, of course, the former Fylde manager, who I may have replaced when I took over this job. They've been in League 2 since 2007-8. Okay. We should really be beating them, but who knows? So the next time that we will be on YouTube will be that big game against Preston North End at Deepdale. As you can see there, lovely sight of Deepdale. We then have some big games. I mean, Nottingham Forest is going to be a walk in the park for them. Former Premier League sides here. We're looking at Derby, Cardiff, Stoke, Middlesbrough, West Brom, QPR, even Blackpool have come up with us. Hull, Blackburn. Oh, I'm going to have to figure out who we're going to play on YouTube here. Every game's a big one. Crystal Palace. They were the defeated playoff finalists last season. And we end the season at home to Blackpool. Oh, that will be a good game. Aston Villa are also in the Championship this season. So are Norwich, Millwall, Swansea. Christ. I mean, what's the record for least points ever in the Championship? Because chances are we're not going to be far away. In fact, should I jump ship before this happens? Probably should. Let's have a look to see if there's any jobs going. There are not. No jobs. Nobody is insecure in more ways than one. Just me. Yeah, okay. Although it is interesting to see some of the managers. Eddie Howe and Sean Dyche still clinging on to their positions, as is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I think that's it for the Premier League. Danny Cowley is at West Ham. Well done him. Brendan Rodgers, Southampton. Unai Emery, Newcastle. Leonardo Jardim, Leicester. Simone Inzaghi at Everton. Abelardo is Watford. Is he a former Barcelona player? I have a feeling that he is. Let's have a quick look at him. David Moyes has landed on his feet. He's with Dundee United in Scotland. I'm interested. Did he play? He did. I knew he did. A Barcelona legend, Abelardo. What's he been doing since? Sorry, we've gone off on a bit of a tangent here. Ah, right, okay. So, lower league manager with the likes of Hihon. I believe that's the right pronunciation. Candace Tuilar. Never heard of him. Back to Hihon as manager for 3 years. Alaves, Espanyol, and then Watford. Is it Espanyol that have got the link with the Watford owners? possibly. Interesting. Although he has been busy in the transfer market, hasn't he? He sold Leonis de Sturgiu to Leicester for 52 million. I mean, fair play if you can get that sort of money. We haven't even sold a player yet. Be that as it may, as you can see, our next game against Lancaster, that will be a game that I mess about with away from the cameras. We do, of course, just before we go, have some transfer budget remaining, 717k. There isn't that many players that are that interesting available. These are the players who are out of contract. I'd love to sign Cesc Fabregas. Would he sign? Can we sign him? He's going to reject us, but let's just do it anyway. He might sign for us. How much does he want? 11k a week? I'd sign Fabregas for that. Give him 10. 12 months. Sign-on fee. Let's negotiate that down a bit. Avoid relegation. Yeah, do you know what? You can have as much as you want for that, right? Seasonal landmark. Suggest terms. Oh, he'll accept! Oh, if we could sign Cesc Fabregas, I would be the happiest little gnome that you can imagine. I do love an international cap. 110 for Spain. I mean, what an addition that would be. I was actually going to look at who was on the transfer list while I was here. But as you can see, I've previously been looking at people who are expired and EU nationals, since the chance of us getting a work permit are quite low. Who's on the list and how interested are they? Slightly interested. Let's go full interest. So who could we actually have signed? Nobody that interesting. Tyrese John Jules, I'm fairly sure he appears in Death in Paradise. Bakuna, yeah, we had a look at him. Yannick Touré was actually the one. I should just point out, that isn't the Aaron Ramsey. I made this mistake a while ago. It's an English regen, I think, over at Aston Villa. Not worth a look. Yannick Touré, I did have a look at. The scouts like him. Sign Touré, whatever the price. He's from Newcastle. And he's available for, how much did they put him on? 500,000. 21-year-old Swiss. It was the lack of target man. Target man is one of his worst role and duties, and that's what we play with. Other than that, I thought he looked quite good. But I'm delighted to say that we could be signing Cesc Fabregas. I might call the episode Transfer Special, includes Cesc Fabregas. Can I sign him? Would they let me? Oh, I would be so happy if they would. This is the time of year, of course, when I get millions and millions of scouting reports, all of which normally are of no interest whatsoever. Look at this. I would be able to step into the first team, yeah, right. I would be one of the better players. 22-year-old forward. To be honest, that's not as outlandish as it may sound. And what chance have we got of signing this fella? CJ Egan-Riley. From my previous knowledge, Barry Simmons, you deserve to be shot in front of your family. There's no way we're signing those. But that's all for today. So we seem to have got a bit away from us, that last bit. But we might actually sign Cesc Fabregas. Cesc Fabregas in an AFC Fylde shirt. 2022 indeed. Speaking of 2022, that is the season that we are about to start. 2022-23. It's the championship. We're probably going to go down. And I've just noticed that Lancaster seem to be managed by a giant axe. I mean, that's one way to motivate the players. I'll see you next time.